Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. I'm not here with Geeky Sparkles in this video, but we're going to talk about the censorship of the internet, the control of the internet. We're going to talk about Elon Musk getting into it with some regulators from the EU because he intends to interview Donald Trump on X tonight, actually in a few minutes. As the recording of this video, I guess they're getting ready for this thing, but he's been warned. He's been warned not to let hate speech on his platform. Didn't CNN let Donald Trump on? So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about Hollywood losing their crap. This article has been making the rounds that Hollywood is very angry that all the tech bros seem to be going more conservative. I'm like, well, they are capitalists, by the way, but I think they're more angry that Hollywood and the mainstream media have lost their complete control of the narrative. At a very, very shocking rate too, right? I mean, all it took was Musk buying Twitter, and I think that was a huge catalyst. And then the venture capital ran out. And then all these media outlets started to crumble. And then it turned out that, maybe making money is not such a bad thing after all. Maybe we need to make money. Maybe these websites don't make money. Maybe a lot of these projects in Hollywood don't make money. Maybe we should get rid of some of these people that are causing problems, these activists that we've listened to for the last, 10 years, whatever, to our own detriment. And now Hollywood is finding itself in a very sticky situation because they tried to become their own tech companies in a lot of ways. Many of them started their own streaming services. They tried to compete with Netflix, and it did not work out for them. Most of them. Disney's doing okay, but they probably didn't need to build Disney Plus, and now Tubi is eating a lot of their lunches anyway. And I think as the economy continues to contract, are we allowed to say recession? I don't know if we're allowed to say recession, but as it continues to contract, to shrink, like a wrinkly, cold something in a swimming pool, people are going to be more cautious with how they spend their money. But yeah, we're going to talk about this because there's some crazy stuff going on. We're going to talk about censorship on potential censorship on YouTube, or rather, maybe I should say more potential censorship on YouTube. They're testing out a community notes feature very similar to X, but the problem with that is that anybody's going to be able to mark up your videos. I mean, we already have a problem with videos getting false flagged, and now any rando can leave a community note on your video, and it might lead to demonetization. I have no idea. I don't expect YouTube to be as fair as Twitter is, or rather X, in that regard. So let's talk about all this. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. Guys, check out the audio editions of Clownfish TV and Derezzed. Go out to any podcast host. You can find them. We're trying to build a life raft. I have a very not good feeling about the future of YouTube. I'm going to be completely honest. Between the Mr. Beast debacle, the apparent desire to clamp down on quote unquote misinformation, and just the zeitgeist, it feels to me like YouTube as we've known it isn't long for this world. It hasn't been YouTube as we've known it for a couple of years now, but then RIP Mama Susan. She died this week too. Very strange. She died a couple of months after her son died. I'm just putting that out there. I didn't know her. But since we're talking, censorship and all that, she was a huge advocate for censorship, as I recall. And then she got gone from YouTube, but it turns out that she actually had cancer. So let's talk about Elon Musk. Let's talk about this crap. This comes from Politico. EU's Breton warns Musk on hate speech ahead of Trump interview, receives profane response. Now, this is a continuation of, I think, a lot of this scheming that sort of was set into play with GARM. Remember GARM, the global advertising, whatever, and they folded within like a day or two. Musk announcing he was going to sue them and Rumble announcing they were going to sue them because they were trying to tell advertisers not to advertise on the platforms. Now we've got this guy from the EU trying to slap down Elon Musk on his own platform. Here's the warning: you're not allowed to have hate speech on your platform. It's like, man, and he told him to go F himself again. I mean, seriously, who do these people think they are? Politico, EU's Breton warns Musk on hate speech ahead of Trump interview receives profane response. Profane response. With great audience comes great responsibility. How do you do, fellow kids? The European Union's digital enforcer wrote an open letter to tech mogul Elon Musk on Monday ahead of a planned interview with former U.S. President Donald Trump to remind him of the EU's rules on promoting hate speech. Trump announced last week he's sitting down with Musk for a major interview, which is going to be live streamed on X. I guess is happening now or pretty close to it. Europe's digital commissioner, is it Thierry Breton, reminded the world's richest man of his legal obligation to stop the amplification of harmful content. They're so angry that he bought Twitter. They're so mad. There's so many people that are mad. Hollywood's mad at him. These idiots are mad at him. The EU in July charged X, which Musk bought in 2022, for failing to respect its social media laws. The platform faces multi-million-dollar euro fines, which is like $5 in US currency. No, I don't know. As the relevant content is accessible to EU users and being amplified also in our jurisdiction, we cannot exclude potential spillovers into the EU, Breton said in a statement posted on X. Breton added that any negative effect of illegal content could lead the EU to take further action against X using our full toolbox, not just the tip, but the whole box, including by adopting interim measures should it be warranted to protect EU citizens from harm. What are they going to do? Ban X in the EU? Trump was suspended from X, then known as Twitter, in the wake of the January 6, 2021 riots at the U.S. Capitol due to the risk of further incitement of violence, the company said. Following Musk's takeover of X, he reinstated Trump's account. Trump's reinstated account remained largely inactive until Monday when he unexpectedly began posting campaign advertisements, denigrating Vice President Kamala Harris, and reposting promotional material for the interview with Musk. It's in the context of that interview that he made his intervention, posting a link to the letter on X itself with the caption, "With great audience comes greater responsibility, hashtag DSA." Oh my God. Somebody wants attention and he got it. Elon Musk responded. We'll look at Thierry Breton's letter in full here, but Elon Musk said, to be honest, I never wanted to respond with this Tropic Thunder meme, but I would never do something so rude and irresponsible. Take a big step back and literally fuck your own face. So there have been multiple letters. I'm not going to read this whole thing. Basically, blah, blah, blah. You have an obligation. I've already warned you. You have to, on one hand, ensure that freedom of expression and of information, including media freedom and pluralism, are effectively protected. And on the other hand, that all proportionate and effective mitigation measures are put in place regarding the amplification of harmful content in connection with relevant events, including live streaming, which, if unaddressed, might increase the risk of X having an increased risk profile, generate detrimental effects on civic discourse and public security. Did they send a warning to CNN too when they had Trump on? This is important against the background of recent examples of public unrest brought about by the amplification of content that promotes hatred, disorder, incitement. Oh my God, they're going to blame X for fueling alt-right riots or some craziness. This is, whatever. CC Linda Yaccarino, CEO of X. Yeah, and he said you can go get fucked. You can go fuck yourself. Literally fuck your own face. So they tried with GARM. It didn't work. Now they're going to send the EU, the authorities, after Elon Musk, the richest man in the world. and threaten him like, you have an obligation to, run everything through us, our sensitivity readers, the entire world, like all of these bureaucrats, all of these studio heads, all of these, they all think they're sensitivity readers, right? It's like that sensitivity reader mindset. Like if I am personally offended, it is not allowed to be put out into the ether because it might do harm. It might hurt somebody's feelings. We wouldn't want that, would we? We wouldn't want anybody's feelings to get hurt. You know what else hurts? A lot? Fucking your own face. I'm sure it hurts real bad, especially if you knock your teeth out. Yeah, so we got that going on, right? We got YouTube testing new fact checking, and I know that they're doing this just in time for November. They're going to make sure that any channels that say things that they don't like, they're going to get a note. And we have this little nugget here. This was an article. We actually started doing a video. Geeky and I started recording a video on this earlier, and we're like, this is just a whole lot of whining. It really is. It's just a very whiny article from the Hollywood Reporter. F these Trump-loving techies. Hollywood takes on Silicon Valley in an epic presidential brawl. And that's what this is all about. It's all about control. They can't control Twitter anymore. They don't have Twitter anymore. They don't have a lot of the media outlets that depended on Twitter anymore. Musk tossed a hand grenade into their whole ecosystem, and they're ass mad about it. It's as simple as that. And they're using every means necessary to try to shut the platform down or make it as ineffective as possible or fine it or whatever they can do, whatever they think they can do. That means shutting off the advertisers. That means, sending the EU after the authorities, sending the authorities after Elon Musk. Multiple hit pieces by the media outlets that are still remaining. And he doesn't give a shit. And if you get in his face, he's going to tell you to go fuck yourself. Literally, ask Bob Iger how that worked. Now, he didn't tell Bob to fuck his own face, to be fair. He didn't specify where Bob was to insert and thrust. But he did tell Bob Iger to go do that to himself. And so he doesn't care. But yeah, Hollywood is so angry because they're not playing ball. Hollywood has these rules in place. The media has these rules in place, and they have their own enforcers of these rules. And Musk exists outside of that ecosystem. These tech billionaires exist outside of that. You can't bully somebody who's got more money than God, right? I mean, it's like these Hollywood types, even some of the richest producers are freaking paupers compared to Musk and Peter Thiel and so many other tech moguls. And a lot of them are considered conservative now. This is so weird. They were not conservative 10 years ago. But again, the goalpost keeps moving. And every time they try to censor or take down somebody like Elon Musk, they create more animosity toward them. They create more enemies. Normies look at this and are like, why are they trying so hard to take down X? Why are they trying to shut the advertising off? What the hell's going on here? I mean, even Mark Zuckerberg said Trump looked pretty awesome with his fist in the air after he got hit with that thing. Am I allowed to talk about that? I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about that. You know what I'm saying? There are a lot of people that were considered liberal not that long ago, and now they're enemies of the state. Like literally enemies of the state. Enemies of, because you're allowing people to speak their mind, to speak freely. So they're going to do everything they can do to take him down. Hollywood is going to, it's so weird. They're really, really angry. They're like, oh, these Hollywood types were getting together to try to take down Musk. And then they basically said, yeah, we can't. They said, some, frankly, though, are crazy enthusiastic to stick it to their arch rivals in Silicon Valley. We've had a decade in which the Musks and the Zuckerbergs and the Sam Altmans of the world have been defining our culture. And the world is not better for it, says one well-known Hollywood executive who's supporting Harris. These guys already have too much power as it is. Unlike Hollywood, right? Unlike Hollywood that, doesn't have too much power. They're just normal, everyday folks, these Hollywood types. That's what they tried to spin during the strike talks. Like there are a lot of normal, everyday folks that work in Hollywood, but the people that are shooting their mouths off the loudest, trust me, they're not your everyday middle-class working stiff. We don't need them setting policy and running the Oval Office. I think this campaign is a chance to even the scales. We're going to take them down. No, they're ass mad because if you go to the very first paragraph of this ridiculous article, they're mad about Netflix. Well, who blew themselves up chasing Netflix? Basically, Hollywood couldn't take over tech. They couldn't do it. The only ones that got even remotely close were Disney with Hulu. And even then, they had to break the bank to do it. And we could argue as to whether or not they're doing it very successfully. They couldn't take down Netflix. They're angry because all these studios had to go out and blow themselves up, burn themselves alive. And in a lot of cases, I'm not allowed to say that. I'm using it figuratively, right? But they did. They wanted to be Netflix. They couldn't be Netflix. They couldn't take Netflix down. I think they honestly thought, the Paramounts and the Warners, whatever, they thought if they take all their content off of Netflix, that Netflix would just go away. And the studios, would have all the power again. And that's not going to happen. And that's what's going on now. These organizations and, GARM and, these watchdog groups and all these media outlets. This isn't even political. It's definitely business. They're angry that X exists. They're angry that Elon Musk has it. And they're trying to do to X what these studios tried to do to Netflix. And at the end of the day, they're going to wind up having to play ball with Netflix. I think most of these studios are going to wind up crawling back to Netflix to put their content on Netflix because they couldn't compete with Netflix. And I think the same thing is going to happen with X. They're all bitching about X. They're all bitching about Elon Musk, but they're paying for gold checks and they need them. They're making announcements on his platform. He told Bob Iger literally to go fuck himself. And there's Disney Parks making announcements on X about all the ridiculous changes they're making to Walt Disney World to remove every trace of Americanism, of patriotic imagery or whatever, bulldozing the rivers of America and Tom Sawyer Island. And it's not going to stop there, guys. It's not going to stop there. But that's what this is about. It's about control. They can't control Elon Musk. He doesn't have to do what they say. So they're going to try to destroy him in other ways. But they're all just a bunch of ankle biters. At the end of the day, they really are. But they're all trying to work together to get their power back. And it's not going to happen for them. I don't think it's going to happen. I think even the general public is kind of wide awake to all of the machinations that have been going on, especially for the last 8 years, 10 years. And they're tired of it. They're sick of it. They are. Everybody's tired of it. I would love for things to go back to normal. I really would. I mean, I don't like talking about this stuff. I hate talking about this stuff. That's why we don't talk the politics or whatever very much on this channel. But I hate having to cover the death of pop culture. And that's basically what we cover or have been covering on this channel because so much of the news is negative. I would love for things to go back to where they were, even I'd sell for 2005, 2006, before things got really, really crazy. But now everything has a political bent to it, doesn't it? It's so insane. But there we go, guys. Somehow GARM has returned, just in different form. I'm going to wrap it up. Please subscribe. We'll talk later.